Hello everybody, Hunter here, not for a brand new video, for a brand new podcast. I thought it would be a fun idea to do like a podcast because of the fact that I talk a lot. I've been told that I talk a lot.
You
So I
talk
thought,
too much.
probably. So I thought, wouldn't it be a great idea if I just did a podcast where I could talk about crap and that's completely okay now? So I did, and it's mostly going to be about kind of like reflections, looking back on life even though I haven't been here for a while. But like the things that are kind of seen as memories. So the first topic today is gonna be like it's gonna be starting off like kind of like the childhood like memory type of things, but it's gonna be like childhood video games, kind of like what got you into video games and like what was kind of like the start of everything, and just kind of like some OG games that you played a lot. So Jello, would you like to start off?
Start off with a what?
Like how you got into like video games, like what got you into it?
I do not know. Probably just like my dad playing video games and like my older sister playing video games. I was like, hey, I like seeing funny color light up on screen.
You know, that actually is kind of good. Mine was a little more eventful, but it's nothing crazy. So when my grandpa died, he had a Nintendo DS that he bought for like while he was doing like treatment and stuff. So my grandma got that DS and he gave it to my dad, and I was like, "Yo, that like Mario Kart game he's playing looks crazy." So, because he was playing Mario Kart DS, and of course my grandma gives her the DS and a bunch of other like games, like some of the really good like DS games, like New Super Mario Bros, Mario Kart. There were some other games like Touch Master. They were pretty much just like mini games that required you to do stuff on like the touch screen and stuff. But I remember my dad like never played the DS. Like he touched it a couple times, but he let me play it. And eventually I kind of just took over as the person that like was in possession of that DS. And I remember I would always just cuz for some reason they wouldn't let me take it out of their bedroom. So I would just go into their bedroom, grab the DS, and I would just sit on that bed for like hours every day. I remember in kindergarten I would literally get home and that would be all I would do until like 7 o'clock, which at the time my bedtime was like 8. So it would literally be like go home, get a snack, play DS until like bedtime. So like that's kind of mostly why I'm into things like Nintendo games, because I kind of started off by playing a lot of Nintendo games. Um, what was like your first like console that you had?
My first one that I actually like played was like my 2DS.
Yeah. I had a DS Lite. It was like it was like I think it was like Indigo Blue is like the actual one. I think I had it in a video because a bunch of stuff decided to die on it. The top screen ribbon cable like broke, which is a really common issue with those DSs. But something else happened that pretty much caused me to not be able to fix it anymore, which was that like a fuse for like the charger completely broke. So I literally couldn't fix it anymore. I would have had to replace almost every part in the DS at that point. So I might fix it someday, but for now it's just kind of spare parts for stuff, which is kind of a sad way to see it go, but it kind of had all of the main failures happen at like once, so it was really going to be annoying to fix.
Womp womp. I just like sold my 2DS because I like never played it anymore.
Yeah. I think I don't know what I got first, but around 2016, my dad the NES Classic. Do you know what the NES Classic is?
Yeah.
So around that time, my dad was like, "Dude, I really want to get the NES Classic because it was like it looked really cool. Nintendo was advertising it a lot back in 2016." And my dad like somehow got one. Those things were really hard to get. I don't remember how he got it, but he got one, and that thing was really fun to play on. That was like the first console I ever technically had. The first like real console I would get would be a PS4 the next year. Um but yeah, I remember playing on the NES Classic, and it was really fun, just like playing like OG Mario games. What else did I play on the thing? I don't remember a lot of what else I played on it. But then the next year, the Super Nintendo Classic comes out. My dad also gets his hands on it, and I remember that was pretty nice because those were some actually good games like Super Mario Kart, Super Mario World. Super Mario World was like the first Mario game I ever actually beat. I think it was like Christmas of 2019. I finally beat it, and I was going crazy. Um, and then in 2017, I got an upgrade to my DS. It was a 2DS. It was a blue 2DS. And that was really fun because I remember that year I had asked to get a 3DS because I had went over to a friend's house and he had one of the new 3DS consoles that had just came out at the time. I think it was around 2015, 2016, so they were pretty new around 2017. I was like, yo, I really want one of those. And sure, I didn't get the 3DS, but it was still really fun to have a 2DS, like something that was in the 3DS console. I got Mario Kart 7 and New Super Mario Bros. 2 with it. I remember, because they gave me it a couple days before we were supposed to go on a car ride, because we usually go on vacation around my birthday. And I was just grinding New Super Mario Bros. 2, like, all the time. It was really fun to do. I enjoyed it. And I remember I beat the game a couple years later on that same kind of car ride, and it was really nice. And then 2017 I get my PS4. Well, it's not mine, but we get a PS4. And it wasn't the first time I was introduced to Minecraft. The first time I was introduced to Minecraft was in 2015. It was the start of kindergarten. I went over to this guy's house, and he had it on PS3. And we would play it, like, all the time. It was really fun, because we would just, like, go in creative mode, and we just, the classic 5-year-old crap, just blow up villages and crap. Just literally cause landfall. What was, like, the first thing that got you into Minecraft?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to remember, but I think on my old family PC, my uncle gave me his Java Edition account, and I like played on there, and I was like, hey, this is epic.
Nice. I don't think I started playing on PC until I went over to. I had gone to my uncle's house for Christmas one time, and he had it on PC. It wasn't Java. It was actually Bedrock when Bedrock first came out, because Bedrock first came out around 2018, because it was the Switch. They introduced it with Nintendo Switch Edition, and then they rolled it out for Windows, Windows Edition. And of course, I didn't even know what Java Edition really was. I knew what it was, but I didn't really know how to obtain it. I literally think I just went to the Microsoft store and I was like, "Hey, this is Minecraft." And like, it wasn't bad, but I remember just goofing around with random I remember just figuring out random commands. I made so many random just bombs by just like getting a repeating command block and just boom. Or I'd have it repeat /kill at E. Those were always kind of funny. But yeah, I think the thing that originally got me into Minecraft, because it was the 4th of July. It was 4th of July 2015 that I went over to this guy's house, and he had just got his PS3 at the time, because his Xbox 360 had died, and he got a PS3. And he played on that thing like all the time, and we played it when I went over to his house for 4th of July. 2018, I got my Switch. And that was kind of nice. I didn't get crazy into the Switch until about late 2019, because that's when my other uncle gave me Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild is such a good game. Like, I was addicted to that game until I 100%ed it, which is really hard to do. I think that might be the hardest game I've 100%ed.
I never really liked Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's kind of something that you really have to like open world games to get into. And even then, Legend of Zelda, you kind of have to already like the Legend of Zelda games, because To be honest, because Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was like the first game that I really got in, the first like Zelda game that I really got into. I did not know anything about Legend of Zelda lore before that, but the convenience of Breath of the Wild, you really don't need to, because the way the Legend of Zelda games work is there are very few Legend of Zelda games that are actually like directly connected to each other. So their lore, the lore of it is kind of like spread across from each other, so you really don't actually need to know a lot about the different games. And then 2020, I get my actual PC. Around 2019, my uncle had given me an old laptop, and I would play games like Kerbal Space Program, and I'd gotten Among Us because this was 5th grade, so Among Us was really popular at the time. Like I remember in my 5th grade class, like all of our Google profile pictures were just random Among Us crewmates, bro. I swear. The amount of crap that my class coordinated in 5th grade was kind of goofy. What were we gonna say?
What do you mean?
Like I don't know why. It was always weird how we would always find random crap to coordinate, like random profile pictures. Yeah. In 5th grade, my teacher had a this little putting green that you could play on. And I remember he had this thing where every Friday he would draw some names, and if you won it, you got a piece of candy. And I remember every morning, me and my friends would try to get to his class like really early, and we would just practice putting, bro. We ended up being like goated at it eventually. That was kind of funny. I remember that. But yeah, 2020, I get my actual PC, like the one I still have. I mean, none of the parts are from when I first had it. I think the only part in this PC that was there when I bought it is the SSD that Windows is on. Everything has been changed. Or added. Like, I have another SSD, another hard drive. I've changed on all the main parts. But that was when I kind of stopped playing console games for a bit. Like, I was, like, exclusively PC only for a while. Until I think about 2021. Because this was when I started doing the YouTube channel. So, these videos are actually probably, like, there. But around 2021, I go to this place, and there's this game store in the Midwest called Disc Traders. Or Disc Replayer. It goes by a few names. But I know in the state of Michigan, it's mostly called Disc Traders. But I remember around that time, I go there to sell a bunch of games and consoles, and actually 2 of the consoles were the NES and Super Nintendo classics. They actually sold for a lot, but I remember I didn't get a lot of money for it, and I was like really sad because I was trying to get a 3DS at the time. And I was like, man, now I'm just kind of sad. I kind of wanted to get like something else. I wanted to get like a 3DS. And I was like, man, there's these Xbox 360s. I've never played one of these before, but they're really cheap. So I actually asked to get store credit instead. And I buy a 360 Slim, and that was the first time I ever bought a console with my own money. Like, I remember I was going crazy when I got that. Like, the thought of buying my own console was, like, honestly kind of crazy. I never thought that'd be a thing. Yeah, this would have been... Man, this was 6th grade when I got my 360. That doesn't seem right. Yeah, and it was the 200th episode. That was really nice. I remember actually something funny that happened in that video. Apparently I had left something out in the living room, and my dad had yelled at me during the video. So you can actually hear that, because I hadn't fully edited it out. So all you can hear is like my name being yelled like halfway through the video. It's kind of funny.
I gotta find that now.
Yeah. But yeah, then I really got into Xbox 360s. I found the OG one and I absolutely loved it. Like, it was such a cool console. Around Halloween that year, I decided that I wanted to get like an OG one, and I went to Distrays again and they had one. I bought it and it died in a week. I don't know how, but it did. It red ringed. And then this past year, I got two 360 Slim, like two 360 Elites, and they've been serving me well. One, I can't fully get open because the stupid screws are just kind of stuck, so it's like good spare parts. But the other one has been like my daily 360 for like over half a year now, and it's been running completely fine. Then my PS2s, this one's actually pretty recent, and I didn't make a video on this because I just really did not want to actually do a video on it. And there ended up being some problems with it, but, so, around last year, May, I really wanted to get a PS2, because some of my, like, favorite games were on there. Like, I really liked, I was starting to get into racing games, and I really wanted to get one of the OG Gran Turismo games. Because people seem to really like Gran Turismo 4. And I was like, yo, I really want Gran Turismo 4. And I was like, oh, just give me like a Madden game. Because at the time I was really into Madden. Like, I was playing a lot of Madden 07 and Madden 17. So I had like saved up some money and I told my dad, like, hey, after work, can you go to like Districts and pick up a PS2? And they happened to have one. It was a normal, like, fat one. But they had a PS2, and he didn't get Gran Turismo 4 because it wasn't available. But they had Gran Turismo 3. And I played the crap out of that game. Initially, I actually played more Madden. But then, around winter of last year, I started to pick up Gran Turismo 3 again. And I was just, like, addicted to that game. Because I was getting into cars again, which I'm, like, still into cars. But I was really getting back into cars, so I was just grinding a ton of Gran Turismo. And then, around last March, I think we were on call when this happened. But I was checking my PS2 because it was, like, getting kind of hot, so I was checking out the thermal situation. And once I put it back together, the, controller port just broke. Like, the controller port was dead. So I couldn't play it anymore. Like, the whole board was bricked. Like, I couldn't do anything with the whole board. Fast forward to a little bit ago, and my grandma's like, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, oh, I want to do PS2. And I give her an eBay link, and she's like, well, I don't really want to buy that. And I was like, oh, just give me your credit card information, I'll buy it. So I ended up getting it, and it came in the mail today. I unbox it, I get it set up, and here's some goofy things with it. Number one, for some reason, when I boot it up, it goes in black and white. But once I unplug the video cable and plug it back in, it's fine. Like, it's just completely fine. Nothing's actually wrong with it for some reason. I want to get component cables for it, so it'll be all good. And two, its disk driver's kind of goofy. Like, I have to do, like, a certain combo for it to read games. But once it reads the games, it's completely fine. Like, on my TV, I have Gran Turismo 3 playing on it, because that's what I was playing before, but I don't want to, like, be playing it right now. But, yeah, I think that's kind of, like, my main story on, like, games. Like, what consoles have you had, like, throughout the years?
I've only had, like, basically the Wii U and Nintendo Switch. I haven't, like, played Xbox or PS or PlayStation, like, ever.
Yeah, with Nintendo, I love Nintendo, but I mostly like their older consoles. But the problem is with a lot of them, I haven't been able to just get my hands on them. Like, I plan to eventually get a GameCube. No, I'm getting a Wii U from a friend soon. Like, I'm getting the money. I'm getting the money to get a Wii U from a friend. I'm not telling you who, probably because sake of video. But, yeah, I really wanted to get a Wii U, and I'm finally getting one soon. And I'm kind of hyped because some of my favorite Nintendo games of like all time are on the Wii U, which is kind of weird because it was kind of seen as one of their like flops, which I just don't really get. I mean, it's kind of on Nintendo that it did kind of poorly, but they also did kind of just fail to put good games on it in the later years of it. But like, yeah, I'm kind of hyped to get that Wii U. But yeah, I feel like with like Nintendo, like I like some of their older games. Like I really want to get a Super Nintendo and I want to get a GameCube. Both of which can kind of be expensive just because cartridges and stuff. And like with older games, you could just randomly want a game and that game just happens to be really expensive. Like I could just want like Super Mario World, a really good game and a really common game. That could just happen to be really expensive and now I just can't get it. Have you ever been into like retro games and stuff?
I mean, like not any like retro consoles, but I have like borrowed some games.
Alright. Yeah, I remember, do you have Switch Online?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they announced that they were doing those emulators, like, I was going, like, crazy over those, because those were going to be really fun.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I was, like, really hyped when those were coming out. And I remember when, I think the first one to come out was the NES one, and then eventually, and then not too long after, they released the Super Nintendo one. And I really liked playing those because they also had a lot of games that weren't on the NES and Super Nintendo Classic. So like I played those consoles like all the time, like yeah, like the virtual consoles. Yeah, those were really fun. I think also later in life, like probably about a year ago, I really started to get back into the 3DS. Because I started going over to Hunter's house, and he has a 3DS XL. And the 3DS XL is, like, one of my favorite, like, handhelds ever. And I was like, yo, this is a really fun console. And he, around 6th grade, got a game called Tamagotchi Life. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna put, like, you and all my other friends in this. And it's gonna be, like, kind of fun. Because, like, the Mii's will, like, interact with each other and do all this fun stuff. And I'm like, yo, that's fun. That's a fun idea. That'll definitely be fun. And, like, he does it. And I remember, like, every day in gym class and recess were the 2 times that we had class with each other. But me, Hunter, and Emmett were usually the people that would hang out during recess. It would usually be me and Hunter during gym. But he would always be telling me about what had like went on that day. In like Tamagotchi Life, and that was just like so fun. I remember that. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I really enjoyed like 6th grade. 6th grade I didn't like actually in terms of like school, but like my friends at the time, that was really fun. There was a lot of like good stuff. Like that's when I actually started going to friends' house, cause like from like kindergarten to 6th grade, I only went to one guy's house. I think I went to another guy's house like 2 times. But once he moved away in 4th grade, I didn't go to a single person's house in like like 4th, 5th grade, and then like late 2nd grade. No, late 6th grade. Then I started to go over to Hunter's house, and it was like really fun because he has a pretty nice house. It's older, but there's a lot of stuff to do. I remember something we did that winter was we had this like game that we would play in his kitchen, where we had like 2 hockey sticks and like a hockey ball, and you would have to pretty much just protect your wall of the kitchen from the hockey ball, and you'd have to just like protect, you just like as like pretty much you're playing goalie. And I remember we'd play it for like an hour. And then there was Beyblades. Beyblades were so fun. We'll probably get to like normal childhood games eventually. But I want to keep like this one just video games, just because I knew that I knew that video games would be a pretty good talking point, just because I feel like video games can be like their own like like whole podcast pretty much. Yeah. Do you got any like good stuff to contribute to like video games, like games that you play, just like anything that you can kind of just like talk about?
I don't remember like which summer break it was, but it was like some summer break where I would go in like my basement every day and just play Mario Maker for the Wii U.
Yo, yeah, I remember. I got Mario Maker. I think it was like 2019. It was the 3DS one, so you couldn't like upload levels and stuff, and you didn't get like those cool like things that could transform Mario and stuff. I really hated that. But it was still kind of fun. I remember I used to make like levels and stuff all the time on that. I remember when Mario Maker 2 came out, I actually got that game on launch. That was so fun. I didn't go to like
Mario Maker 2 I was so hyped for Mario Maker 2, you would not believe it.
yeah. It wasn't like I went to like GameStop. It's just, it released on a Sunday. And it just so happened, and Sundays usually when I go shopping, and it just so happened to be that Meyer had it in stock. They had gotten it in stock and they were displaying it for when it went out. And they still had some copies by the time we got there. So, my dad let us buy it. And it was like really, it was hype. Like we were playing that all the time. It was kind of funny. I remember I made like a pretty original username for Mario Maker. And like, cause like, you know, day zero being able to, actually make a username, it's like you can pretty much do whatever you want. And then my brother changes it, and by the time I notice and try to change it back, everything around that username had already gotten taken. I was so mad, bro.
Your brother's a troll, bro.
Yeah, it was like actually a pretty. I have no clue what the username actually was, but all I remember is that it's the kind of username that you could not get normally. Like you actually had to have bought the game like day zero to be able to get that kind of username. I remember, I don't know what summer break it was, but there was a summer break where, like, have you ever played Lego Worlds?
Nah.
So, Lego Worlds, if you don't know, is this, like, it's pretty much a free-roaming Lego game, where you go to different, kind of, like, worlds, pretty much. And, like, you'll do, like, a tutorial where you'll have, like, some, like, you'll get, like, some early stuff to do, like where you gotta like learn how to use everything and all that stuff, and then you get to go explore and you have to get like gold bricks by doing tasks. I was like addicted to that game because I had it on PS4. I think I got it for like my birthday, like somewhere around that time, but I played the crap out of that game. Like it would literally be wake up, play Lego Worlds, go into my pool for however long my mom would let me, and then it was play Lego Worlds until dinner, and then watch YouTube. Around 2017, 2018 was when I started to be allowed to watch YouTube and stuff, and I was like, yo, this crap is way better than Nickelodeon, bro. What the heck?
I was watching YouTube from like the age of 5. It was not good for me.
Yeah. I didn't have proper internet access until I was like 10. Because unless you count YouTube and Netflix, that was all I had. Like that was the only actual internet access I had until I turned like 10. Because I'd gotten a tablet that Christmas. And I remember when I got that tablet, dude, that thing was crazy. I got Pixel Gun 3D. Dude, that was hype.
Oh,
I
man.
played the crap out of that game. I remember my OG account, I actually made it to the max level. I think the max level at the time was level 42. I mean, of course, because here's the problem I have with Pixel Gun. If you weren't pay to win, the game actually just sucked after a certain point. Because it felt like almost everyone was pay to win after a certain point. So, like, playing the game after a certain point just actually sucked. Like, it wasn't fun.
Damn.
Because you had these people that would just buy all the premium weapons, and that would instantly max out all of their guns the second they reached a new level. So you would have these people that would just have these maxed out guns at every single level. And of course, because of that, they were able to get to like the maximum league, which was like veteran league. I had never made it there. I made it to champion league a couple times. But they'd be up there in like veteran league casually, and like it was like impossible for them to get ranked down because they would win every single time. And I swear, I don't know if it was just me, but for some reason, whenever did you ever play Pixel Gun?
I think I did, but I don't remember much of it.
Okay. So if you played classic mode, you would, every time you finished a match, if you decide to stay in that lobby, the lobby would just get rearranged. For some reason, almost every time, the teams would just end up being like mostly the same every round. Like maybe a couple of like the randos would get put around, but like the sweats would get put on the same team every single round. I think that was mostly me just getting really unlucky. But it was so annoying because like the sweats would just get put on the same team every single round, and it was really annoying if I was trying to like trophy push, like if I was trying to like trophy and rank push, like I wouldn't get anywhere. Like I would just get literally nowhere.
They done rigged the teams.
It felt like it sometimes. And then there was just some challenge where it's just like forget about it. Like you were just it would be challenges that you would pretty much have to be the sweat of the lobby to complete, and it was like nah, bro. I would usually end up being the freaking worst person in the lobby with how many people would just be cooking out of nowhere. So it just made some challenges just like completely impossible to do sometimes. I remember I also had Clash of Clans. Now with Supercell, I've always been more of a Clash of Clans kind of person. Like Clash Royale and I mean I play Brawl Stars occasionally, like with Hunter and stuff. I don't play the game too often. Like I usually only actually play it when I go to like his house or something. But I'll play. I tried to play Clash Royale in 6th grade when it was like really popping off. But just like I couldn't get into the game. Like the problem I have with a lot of games is I don't like games where you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like it's a very one-sided game. Like games like Fortnite, Clash Royale, and stuff like that, where you're doing literally the same thing. Clash Royale, you're just attacking 3 towers, but occasionally with different troops and stuff. Like, that's just not fun to me after a certain point. Like, Brawl Stars, I already bet you I'm not going to care about that game within a month, because it's literally just the same thing over and over. The only difference is that it's centric a lot more around playing with friends and stuff, which, like, I can get into a lot more. But, like, with Fortnite, I've been on and off with Fortnite a lot. I got into the game around OG, like, Season 9, and then I stopped around Chapter 2, Season 2. Then I got in at the beginning of Chapter 4, because that was when I met Will. I met Will at the beginning of 7th grade. And he was like, yeah, there's, like, this new chapter. I'm like, dang, they're still doing that old chapter system? So I downloaded it on my PC, and I used to play with Hunter, and it was, like, me, Hunter, and Will all the time. Because I got Hunter to re-download the game. That's probably why Hunter goes crazy on Fortnite now. Was literally because I was like, yo, me and this new guy Will have been playing Fortnite. Have you played that? And he's like, yeah, I've been playing since it like almost came out. I'm like, all right, cool, you should re-download it. And it took some convincing, but I eventually did it. But yeah, I just kind of remember getting back into a lot of those games. I also had this game called SimCity Build It. SimCity is pretty much just a city building game. It's kind of like The Sims, but it's more centric on like the city building game. You can still focus on your like people and stuff too. It's kind of like a less realistic City Skylines almost. Which I also love City Skylines. I almost might have to dedicate a whole podcast to just Steam games, it feels like. Steam games is like its own story at this point. But yeah, SimCity Build It was a really fun game that I got into. The annoying part was that this was like an Amazon tablet, so I don't have access to any of these accounts anymore. I mean, I still have my OG Clash of Clans account, like my second account, but it's pretty much OG at this point because I lost my OG account pretty early. But I had put on a Supercell ID so I could log into it at any time. But yeah, I remember that was pretty fun. Clash of Clans was fun. But yeah, I remember just kind of getting into online games. I think one of the first real online games that I got into was surprisingly, it was Call of Duty Warzone. I never had anyone to play with because no one was allowed to play COD at the time. Like, 3rd, 4th grade, I didn't know a single soul that was allowed to play COD. Because me and that friend that I used to go over to, we would play Black Ops 3 on his PS3 all the time. We would play multiplayer with bots a lot because he didn't have internet, so we could never play like new versions of games. Like Minecraft was on like 1.3, which was actually kind of fun to be honest. But yeah, I remember we used to play like Black Ops 1 and 3. We never played Zombies until I got a PS4 and we played Black Ops 4 Zombies. There was a Titanic map that was so fun to play with. I was talking about some people about Black Ops 4 maps, and they were also like, yeah, bro, the Titanic map is goated. Yeah, I'm trying to kind of just like think of other random stuff about just like games. Oh, my phone. So I got my first phone at the end of 6th grade. Because I think it was mostly for, I mean, of course, communication stuff. But there would be random times. It was kind of funny. In 5th grade, my mom's car had broke down. And so, at the time, my parents would pick me up. And what do you think 5th grade me did when my mom just wasn't there? And at the time, my parents didn't let me walk home, even though my house was literally in walking distance. I wasn't allowed to walk home. So I sat there for almost an hour just sitting there. I was like, man, I'm really being abandoned like this, aren't I?
Husband left for the streets.
I remember eventually they sent out my uncle to go pick me up, and that was kind of nice. But that kind of caused my parents to eventually buy me a phone. At least I think that was the cause of it. It was supposed to be for my birthday that year, but my dad decided to give it to me early. I think it was a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G. It was pretty nice, like, for like a beginner phone. I mean, for a first phone, it was crazy good, like, you know, as a first phone. But, like, I just never really been a big Android fan. At least a Samsung Android fan. I feel like the difference between Android on like Google Pixel and Samsung phones is a pretty big difference, because like Google Pixel, you get updates a lot more frequently, and like your phones just get supported for a lot longer. Versus, like, I feel like with a lot of Samsung phones, they try to throw a lot of random crap on the phone. And, like, good luck if it came from a cell provider, because you're about to get a lot of random, apps put onto it. So I was like, man, I kind of just want to get an iPhone. Because at the time, I loved the iPhone 8. Like, I just loved its simplicity, but that, like, it was a good, like, phone. So around last year, I had saved up a bunch of extra money, and I bought one. The first one ended up dying, but I bought another one, and it's been fine ever since. But I really like it. It served me pretty well. I'm buying a new battery for it for my birthday, just because the battery for it was never good to begin with, and now it's been pretty crappy. But, I'm either thinking about getting a Google Pixel 7... a iPhone 13 mini, or an iPhone SE 3rd gen. I'm thinking of doing the SE 3rd gen just because it's like the cheapest one out of all of them. That gives me like the biggest performance upgrades. But I do like the Google Pixel for its like camera quality. I love the stuff you can do with Google Pixels and like their cameras and stuff. They have like that AI feature where you can crop out certain things. I've always kind of wanted to have that. I wonder if Apple's gonna ever implement that, now that they're saying that they're gonna be doing a lot of stuff with AI with iOS 18 and stuff. I kind of want what they're gonna do. Like, this actually might be the first time in a while that I've actually been hyped for an iOS update. Because, like, it actually seems like Apple's putting in effort for once. Like, it hasn't really felt like they've put in proper effort on an iOS update since, like, iOS 12. So this is kind of nice to have for once. But yeah, Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go, I think, was the first game I actually got on my new phone, and I was like addicted to that game. I played it all the time. I still have that same account, of course, because it's just Gmail. But yeah, I was like addicted to Pokemon Go at the time. Like I would just play it all the time, trying to catch like literally everything. And I think that's what got me closer to people like Emmett and Hunter, because they play Pokemon. They at the time, I mean, they still Hunter doesn't play it as much, but Emmett definitely does. But like, they play Pokemon Go all the time, and I remember once we got a lot closer with each other, we would start going out for Pokemon events. And Go Fest, which is like the biggest event of the year, we go out like to Grand Rapids. Like his mom drives us around, and we're doing that next weekend because that's when it is. But yeah, it's just games like those. I love games that actually you can kind of like connect with people and stuff like that. And then, oh my god, I remember when I got into G-Dash, bro. I got G-Dash Lite on my tablet in 2019, and I remember I sucked booty at the game. Like, I'm being dead serious. I'm pretty sure I had G-Dash Lite on it for about 2 years. I don't think I beat a single stage on it ever. Like, I'm being serious.
Didn't we all suck at G-Dash when we were young?
I mean, yeah. Like, dude, triple spikes were actually impossible for me. Like, I couldn't do it.
Bro, I was actually hyped when I beat back on track.
I think I did eventually beat Stereo Madness. I went crazy when I beat Stereo Madness. Like, I was actually going insane. I got it on my phone eventually, and like I beat like the first 3 or 4 stages, but just like I still kind of sucked at the game in 6th grade. And then I got it on my phone now, and like I'm not great at the game, but I'm also not like bad at the game. I'm not like literal trash like how I was. Like I can go into the recent tab and be able to beat a level. 10-year-old 10-year-old me would have never been able to do that. I mean, literally, because I literally had G-Dash Lite. My brother was the one person that got more into G-Dash. Like, I've never gotten super attached to mobile games. I think except for really Pokemon Go. But even then, I've kind of let go on Pokemon Go a little bit. But I still play the game. But like I remember like my brother got into the game more, and I remember watching him play through like pretty much the whole game. He beat every G-Dash Lite level at the time before before he bought normal G-Dash. And I remember we would always be on car rides, and I'd just be watching him. Like, I remember, like, watching him play G-Dash was, like, freaking magic to my freaking pea-brain. Because here's the thing. I was 10. He was, like, 8. Bro was cooking on G-Dash levels at, like, the age of 8 to 9. Bro was crazy. Because here's the thing. I've said this before. I've never actually been good at any video game that I pick up. Like, I think with maybe the exception of Pokemon Go and KSP, I've never actually been good at a video game that I pick up. I can play it for a long time. COD's like COD and Minecraft have been like the games that I've been playing for the longest. You take a beginner, and I look bad compared to them. I don't know. It's probably just the fact that I've never been able to pick up on actual strategies. Like, I take my so-called strategy, and I pretty much can't adapt from it for some reason. But, yeah, it's always just been kind of weird. But, like, yeah, I never got too into mobile games, but, like, my brother, my brother's the opposite. He picks up literally any video game, and he's insane at it. Like, I remember when we bought Mario Odyssey a couple months after we got our Switch, he beat the game in like a weekend, and he already started speedrunning it after that. His time, I don't remember what it is. I'd have to look at what the actual world record is, but I know it's like It's about like 30 minutes off the world record, I think. At least at the time it probably was. The world record now is probably like insane. Like yeah, he has some like pretty good, like if you look at Mario Kart, he has some crazy time trials. I think I might actually be the better Mario Kart player. Like I'm actually pretty, if there was any game outside of those two games that I would think that'd come close to me being actually good at the game, it'd probably be Mario Kart. Mario Kart being the game that I grew up with the longest. And, like, Mario Kart was a game that I actually adapted to getting pretty good at, like, the strats. Like, Mario Kart DS, I'm pretty good at snaking, although I don't usually choose to do it. I usually just choose to play the game as is. Mostly because my one file, it's 100%. Like, my Mario Kart DS file that I, like, actually play on is, like, been 100%. So, like, I don't need to go crazy on it. But... like, yeah, I remember just, like, he's insane at every game he plays. He still speedruns Mario Odyssey occasionally. He doesn't go crazy on it anymore. He mostly plays, like, Fortnite and stuff with his friends.
Why is your brother such a goat?
I don't know. He just goes insane on every game he plays. And, like, I suck at Mario Odyssey. Like, I'm actually dog at Mario Odyssey. Like... me playing Mario Odyssey is so freaking goofy. Like, I know the main strats. I know some of the main, like, cap jump strats. But, like, outside of that, nothing. I can't do anything in that game. I've beaten the game once, and that was it. I played through the game, and that was about it. But, yeah, I mean, I might be good at some of the Xbox 360 games that I have. But I've never had anyone to compare them to. Same with, like, racing games. I'd like to think that I'm actually good at them, given the proper car, proper track. But, like, I don't know. I've never really... I only know a couple of people that actually like racing games. Like, I know there's this one guy from school where, like, he's one of the few people that I actually have, like, friended on PlayStation. And I play games with, like, War Thunder and stuff. But, like, dude, bro is, like, a chronic F1 24 and, like, Gran Turismo 7 addict. Like, bro has clocked so many hours on those games. I really want to get Gran Turismo 7 eventually, but I just don't know how well the PS4 would actually play it. So I don't want to accidentally waste, like, $70 on a game that might play, like, actual trash on PS4. Because I know it looks amazing on PS5, but I don't have one. And I probably won't have one for a long time. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, modern games. I think with modern games, I just kind of, like, goof around and, like, play what ends up kind of being fun. Like, I'm big into Gran Turismo right now. Like, when I went out today, I bought Gran Turismo 4 because I was going to buy it for my birthday, but I got it early. So I've been playing that a bit, although I'm literally playing Gran Turismo 3 right now. Just because I kind of like Gran Turismo 3 a little more. But Gran Turismo 4 is still really fun. But, like, a lot of the games I play now are just mostly kind of goofing around. Like, of course, I play, like, Lethal Company with you guys and stuff. And, like, those are really fun. I like playing just, like, goofy, like, multiplayer games. Those are kind of, like, my favorite ones. You know, if you had to choose, like, between single player and multiplayer games, what would you rather, like, play?
Multiplayer games easily.
For me, it always kind of depends. I've always kind of been more of a single player fan, just because of the fact that, like, I like multiplayer games, but sometimes I just want to be able to, like, sit down by myself, like, maybe throw on some music. Usually not. I usually just literally sit there and just listen to whatever the game music is. But, like, sometimes I just kind of like to be able to sit down. Like, it used to just be hunched over on my couch. Now it's hunched over on my bed. Actually, no, it's usually laid down on my bed. Just, like, be able to just, like, lay down in my bed or sit in my, like, chair and just be able to just, like, put, like, 10 hours into a game. Just, like, out of nowhere. Like, sometimes I just kind of like that. That's why I loved, like, the Pokemon games. I'm surprised I didn't bring up the Pokemon games till now, but I got Pokemon Ultra Moon in 2018, and I put so much time into that game. Like, I just sometimes like being able to just sit down by myself and just have no disturbances. Like, you know, just, like, with the occasional leave of, like, using the bathroom and getting food and drink. Just like I've always liked just being able to like sit down and just put some time into a game by myself. Especially if it's a game that I really like putting effort into, like Minecraft. Like I used to really be crazy on Minecraft. I just kind of occasionally play Minecraft now. Like I have a Java world that I play on occasionally. But like KSP, like if it's a game that I really like to put effort in, like I just it feels nice when you get done with like a session of a game and it really kind of feels like you did something. I feel like I just don't get that same feeling from multiplayer games, so I feel like that's just why I still like playing them, like playing games like Lethal Company, Roblox, all that crap. They're fun, but just like I just don't get the same feeling that I do from like a multiplayer, like a single player game. What's like one of your favorite video games like of all time?
Minecraft easily.
Alright. Yeah, that's kind of understandable.
I used to walk in on Minecraft.
Yeah. Minecraft was definitely my number one for the longest time, from like 2017 to like 2021. Once I got Kerbal Space Program, that's what really got me into space. I'm still pretty big into space now. I don't know if Gran Turismo will ever take over. It kind of feels like it, but so far not yet. But Kerbal Space Program was really what got me into everything that I do now. Like, it's gotten me into space, which got me into technology, which got me into really wanting my own consoles, really being big on my own PC, launching model rockets. Like, it kind of got me to do a lot of things that, like, I do now. Like, genuinely, almost everything that I do now existed because of Kerbal Space Program. So, like, sure, I don't play it as much anymore. I've been getting into it a lot more now. But, like, sure, it's not, like, my number one, like, addiction game that I play now. But, like, it's, like, important to me. Because, like, it's gotten me to do, like, what I do now. You know? Like, I don't... A lot of the stuff I do now is literally because of Kerbal Space Program. And it's kind of just, like... I kind of just gotta, like, thank it for that almost, you know? Dang, I just realized I got the car I'm driving right now is maxed out. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of why Kerbal Space Program will always kind of be my favorite, just because of, like, the impact it's kind of had on me. Minecraft, albeit it being fun, probably didn't have the greatest impacts on me. It probably was what ended up me being the person that no one really talked to in elementary school. because I was like addicted to talking about it, and like everyone was into like Fortnite and stuff at the time, so people just kind of saw it as weird after second grade. So like as much as I love Minecraft, it probably didn't have a very good like influence on me. Like now I don't really care what people think about like me playing video games, but I felt like in elementary school, it was kind of just like you tried to, your objective was to just try to get people to like you. Like if you can get some people to like you, then you can gain some friends, and like if you can keep those friends long enough like that, you got some good long-lasting relationships. But like not having anyone that likes what you like, it kind of just sucked. Like it was like, dang, no one likes Minecraft, but it's the only good game I've got, so I'm gonna keep playing it. It's like Minecraft was really good, but it probably didn't have the greatest like effect on me during elementary school. Then Kerbal Space Program. People in 5th grade seemed to really like when I did play Kerbal Space Program. Something I actually used to do, I would send out a poll to all my friends in my class, and it was like a random KSP planet, and whenever one won, I would have to try to land on it at the, like, by that weekend. And I remember the last time I landed on the moon, like the first time I landed on the moon, bro, I was going crazy. Like, that was like a whole event to me. I was so happy when I did that. Like, I was really hyped. Yeah, KSP. What about now? Like, what about, like, a modern game? I guess if I had to go with a modern game, it would likely be Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo just being, like, what I do now. Like, I'm really big into cars. Like, I literally have, like, a whole plan on what I'm doing. Like, the second I start driver's training and, like, the second I have the money, like, I already know the first car that I really want to get. I already know my plan to get the money for the first car. It's like, it's kind of crazy. But I feel like Gran Turismo was what kind of got me into really liking that. Like, the whole, and My Summer Car. Gran Turismo and My Summer Car kind of got me into, like, the mechanics. Like, My Summer Car kind of taught me, like, the mechanics of, like, how a car works, what you need for it to run. And then, like, Gran Turismo was really how to control a car and how to get good at actually, like, I mean, like, racing it, pretty much. But also just, like, how to control a car, like, all the basics and stuff. Like, if you're thinking about it, My Summer Car felt like the mechanics, and Gran Turismo felt like the driver's ed, pretty much. It's no real life thing, but, like, it's really taught me how cars work, and, like, once I go into driver's training, I feel like it's, like, really not gonna be that hard. I feel like I'm kind of already gonna know what I'm doing, even though I've never actually driven before. Knock on wood, of course. I don't want it to go poorly or some crap. Do you have anything else you want to say about, like, childhood gaming and all that stuff?
I mean, not really.
Alright, I think that's gonna do it for the first podcast. That went for about an hour, so that actually went pretty successfully. I'll have to go. I'll have to go through my list and find another topic to talk about. I don't know when I'll start doing stuff about, like, current topics, but that was a pretty good first one. But yeah, I'll be seeing you guys next week for the next podcast. I mean, this is gonna be uploaded on a Saturday, but it was recorded on a Friday. I'll probably just try to do it a little earlier because I was doing stuff with my PS2. But yeah, I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.